Hi everyone. Hi everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Micheline. I am a certified health coach and a nutrition coach. So in today's video, I am going to talk about cholesterol. The need to talk about cholesterol is very important. Chronic diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes mellitus, heart diseases, Alzheimer, cancer, fatty liver diseases are significantly on the rise in Nigeria. High cholesterol is one of the risk factors that could contribute to most of these chronic diseases, especially that of heart disease. And heart disease is the number one cause of death in the whole world. When people hear about cholesterol, they have this kind of terrible feelings about cholesterol, because people think that cholesterol is bad. Cholesterol might not be that bad as we paint it to be. If it might interest you to know that our body actually makes its own cholesterol. About 80% of the cholesterol that our body needs, it's made in the liver, in our own body. It is a kind of fatty substance our body cannot live without. But the question is, if our body cannot live without cholesterol, then why do people, think that cholesterol is very bad? This particular question, I'm going to answer on today's video, and also you stand to get more details about cholesterol. You will be surprised at the importance, of cholesterol in our overall body functions. You want to know more about this? Stay tuned to this video and don't go away. Before I go on, I would want to say one thing. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to share this video with people who might be interested in this kind of topic. You never can tell when you are saving a life just by sharing this video. So please subscribe to my channel, share this video, and also don't forget to give me a like on the video. Another thing is, when you subscribe to my channel, you stand to get notified whenever I post a new video. So another thing I would want to say before I go on is, whatever information that I give out on today's video does not replace any information or professional information that you get from your healthcare provider. It's meant for informational purposes only. So having said that, let's get into the main topic of today without so much ado. So like I said, chronic diseases is significantly on the rise. High cholesterol is one of the risk factors of most of these chronic especially that of heart disease. 21.9 million people are going through high cholesterol issues as of 2015. So imagine what must have happened up until now. Cholesterol is a fatty substance, very, very important, that our body makes. Our body makes this cholesterol in the liver, about 80% of it. Our body cannot live without, cholesterol, because cholesterol, this fatty substance, is present in every cell in our body. Our whole body is made up of cells. And so you can imagine, cholesterol is everywhere these cells are, because it is meant to support the cells, to regenerate them, In addition to that, cholesterol also helps in the production of hormones, sex hormones like progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, So you can imagine these reproductive hormones cannot be made without, cholesterol. In addition to that as well, it also helps in the production of bile, and also in the production of vitamin D. If you have watched my video on vitamin D, I mentioned that our body also makes its own vitamin D as well. So you want to have more information about the importance of vitamin D in our overall wellness, check that video. So having said that, the question is, why do people think that cholesterol is bad? First off, Cholesterol is transported, throughout your body in your blood as what we call lipoprotein. And we have two categories of this lipoprotein, of this cholesterol. Let me just make it simple as that. So we have the HDL, which is the high density lipoprotein. This high density lipoprotein is the good cholesterol. When the amount of this HDL is high in our body, our body functions phenomenal. Our body functions so well. But we also have that of the LDL, which is another category of cholesterol. The LDL, which we call the low density lipoprotein, is the bad cholesterol. Let's make it simple. When we feed our body good food, we are give and the cholesterol content in that food, when it is good food, then we are feeding our body good cholesterol. But when we feed our body bad food, the cholesterol content in that bad food is going to get into our body as bad cholesterol. So now let's continue with the LDL. So this LDL, as said, is the bad guy, and it's also transported, alongside with the HDL, and also with another kind of fat, which is called triglycerides. Triglycerides, I'm going to talk about on another separate video. So this LDL is bad that it could cause so much havoc in our body, and I'm gonna give you an example. So let's take, for example, like I said, these lipoprotein, these two lipoprotein, the HDL and the LDL, is transported, in the blood, as lipoprotein, and when they go through your blood vessel, they just flow with the blood, to be transported, for use in other parts of your body. So now let's take, for example, that, they are going. When they are going, the high density lipoprotein, it's very fast, so it runs so good, it's really like full of energy and it's really moving. But when the amount of the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, is higher than the HDL, the good one, then your blood flows sluggishly, So, and when your blood flows sluggishly, this LDL, kind of stick along the way, and because they don't have strength to move anymore. So they are kind of like snake that swallowed some kind of, so they're just there. They just stay there. So when they stick to that particular place, they form what we called plaques. So they build up plaques, with time they continue building plaques, a process which we call arteriosclerosis. So with this, it continues building this plaque until they make that blood, vessel so narrow that it will be difficult, or, the flow of blood wouldn't be as free as possible as it used to be, So that is the problem with this, LDL. So when this happens, lots of things go on in your body. You are at risk of heart disease. You are at risk of, heart disease like coronary heart disease, heart attack, or even stroke, and, eventually death. And that is why it is very important that we make sure our HDL is higher. The amount of our HDL is higher in our blood than that of the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL. So having said that, so many people might be wondering, how do I know if I have cholesterol? There is no symptoms, at which whether you have cholesterol or not. It doesn't show you when you have high cholesterol. It doesn't show you any symptoms, but there are some kind of bodily discomfort. For example, if you are someone who eats bad food, you are at risk of elevating your high high LDL cholesterol. So you have to make sure that when you eat good food, you are not at risk. And when you are also somebody who sits at one place, you don't move around, you are also putting yourself at risk of high cholesterol. But the main thing here is, you don't know if you have high cholesterol until you check yourself, because there are some kind of certain situations, like genetics, like some kind of diseases, that could make your cholesterol level high, which has nothing to do with what you eat. So that is why it's very important, like I mentioned before, another video about health screening. When you do health screening, one of the popular health screening out there is having a kind of regular blood test, depending on the kind of information you have, on the kind of appointment or the kind of situation, plan that you have with your healthcare provider, will determine how often that you do this blood test. So when you do this blood test, in your blood test, your cholesterol level will also be checked, so your HDL value will be there and your LDL value will be there. So when your LDL value is higher than your HDL value, your healthcare provider will tell you what to do, to help yourself. So the next question where I would want to talk about is, what are the causes, because there are so many Nigerian food that we are eating today. In fact, 99% of the Nigerian food that we eat today contribute to our, elevation of our, LDL cholesterol. And that I am going to talk about in another video, because I don't want this video too long. I just wanted you to have a basic overview of what cholesterol is all about. So you want to know, what are the things that you are doing that is causing your cholesterol to be high, or that could elevate, your LDL level. Then go to the next video. I'm going to leave the link here below for you to continue from there. With that, I say stay healthy, stay beautiful, and I hope to see you on that next video. Ciao.